Well, last night we were sailing from Alghero in Sardinia to Ajaccio in Corsica, and it was quite windy, but not too windy for Matilda. And we were beating, so we're going right into the wind, and we had about 20 to 25 knots of wind, and we had our little staysail up, which is the inner forestay, on the inner forestay, and 2 reefs in the main. At which point the actual forestay, the one with the furled up huge Genoa on it, but it was all furled up, decided to break loose and thrash around the deck. So we had to take drastic action in the middle of the night and went on deck and took an hour or so to corral the thing and tie it down and turn the boat round, and hopefully it was all dark and not too much damage. We've sort of busted up the forestay, and I think we might have damaged the foil, but at least the mast's still standing. We managed to get into this little bay where I don't think you're meant to anchor because it's a national park, but I don't care really right now. And we're trying to stabilise the situation before we head off back to Ajaccio to see if we can get it fixed properly, but the whole thing's probably set us back a week or so. So I can see one little fishing boat out over there. That's it. And then we've got this. This is Asinara Donkey Island, which is a national park which you're not really allowed to anchor at. We came in here in the middle of the night, and it's a very rocky coast, and it's quite deep until you get in close. So we had to try and get in quite close without hitting a rock in the darkness. And we managed to get the anchor down and got a few hours sleep, and now we're just trying to remedy the situation, which is sort of complicated but not impossible. Well, we're trying to find. Oh, hold on, maybe this will work.
So we've got a 10-hour, 12-hour.
10-hour motor or motor sail if we can put the staysail up. I'm quite comfortable about putting the staysail up because we'll have the mast braced pretty well with the 2 runners or check stays and
all the extra halyards around.
And all the extra halyards around it. So I'm pretty confident the mast will be fine.
It's actually Ant inside a hatch. He does have legs.
Or one at least.
One that works.
And how about I just do it like that?
So the funny thing about having a drama on board the boat is that you never know when it's going to hit. And that was what was really interesting about last night, was that we'd all settled down for the night. We'd had some dinner. I was in my bunk watching, ironically, 6 feet under. And Ant was also, he was about half an hour out from going on watch. And Mark was on the helm when we got the call that there was an issue and to come up on deck. And it was really interesting. I had spent quite a bit of time yesterday afternoon, because I'm not well at the moment. I think I've had COVID. I'd spent a lot of time yesterday afternoon getting our PFDs on my bunk, which is in the aft bunk. So we all had our PFDs, our tethers, my hat, my gloves, everything, my shoes, they were all there ready to go. And that was really interesting. You know, time spent in preparation is seldom squandered. So we were really prepared. I came up on helm, Mark was forward. First thing I did was take the boat off auto helm so that I could actually steer the boat. The guys were madly flapping around with sails. We had very little light on the boat. And so I went back downstairs, put the boat back on autohelm, raced downstairs, got our big torch, but I could see that the torch was actually flashing. It was starting to lose battery, and so I had to sort of think about what I was going to do. We had the headsail still up and the main was still up, and they were really sort of ascertaining what they were about to do with the forestay. So I heaved to and put the boat back on autopilot, and then went back down below, and we've got some really amazing floodlights that gave the guys a lot of light to be able to work from, which meant I didn't need the torch anymore. And then followed about an hour and a half of really trying to manage the sails until they got the sails down. So just really playing with the wind. And at that stage, I had no idea where. I couldn't see the wind and I couldn't see any waves because it was pitch black, wasn't a moon. And but we had our good old trusty Aussie flag at the back, so I could that became my sort of weather vane, and I really wanted the wind to be completely behind me. We had about 18 knots of breeze at that stage, going up between 18 over 20, and I knew that when the flag was whipping me in the face, it was a good thing. And so we eventually got the sails down, and I went back into my bunk and watched the rest of 6 Feet Under.
So this is obviously where the pin dropped out down there, you can see on the end.
Yep.
And that's meant to go onto that fitting there, but I think that looks a bit bent to me. So we'll probably need to get a new one of those. But in order to get back to Ajaccio, I want to try and fasten it on at least enough to stabilise it, and then we'll tape it all on so the pin doesn't fall out.
The foil might be cactus as well.
Or at least a section of it,
Jesus.
yeah.
Have you seen the bend in it?
Yes, I have. Okay. Where the pin dropped out, we found another bolt just in the spares, which isn't ideal, but it fits. And we've managed to get it through to hold this in place, and we'll tighten it up now. And then I'll probably put some tape around it, stop it working loose or anything, and that will be absolutely 100% fine to get us back to Ajaccio. And then we'll need to get a proper rigger in to look at it. And I don't know, maybe order some parts and things.
Nothing money can't fix.
Well, hopefully.